something called post-hypnotic suggestion. And that can be anything at all. It could be rubbing my nose, meaning do as I tell you. Stand on your head. I used to be, in case people who are listening to me for the first time, a freaking hypnosis expert in hypnosis. Hypnosis is what is the state you are in and do not know it. 64 years, she still doesn't know it. But she acts sometimes as a normal person and sometimes as not. And there's only have to have some little trigger that put her back into that hypnotic state that everybody on earth, without any exception, is in. Now, I've never had anybody over my 55 years on the radio fight with me on that. They don't. There's something about what I said is a little scary, that you don't know who you are. And you are living out somebody else's life. If you were a cannibal, you'd live out the cannibal life. If you're born in Germany, you live out the Hitler life. And the Hitler life is all it takes one man to hypnotize the whole bloody lot. Because you do unto others, he gets one person, two people, especially of great renown, with plenty of money, who would like to have a man like that, who knows how to mesmerize and have the logic for himself, but not the people. And it's not logic, it's cunning. It's not the logic we know, it's the logic of wickedness. But the point is, he can gloat in that himself as being superior and addicted to more and more and more and more becoming corrupt. If Obama did the same thing, if you don't mind me saying so, he came in, how many years ago? 8 years ago, roughly. He came in 8 years of 60, 70, 80 years, excuse me, 60 or 70, 80 years of Marxist programming of the schools, the universities, the media, and it's deadly. But Marxism, never mind who it is in power at the time, it's Isanism. It's, in Russia, is how you control whole numbers of people, which is not unknown, because there's only 1% of the human race that has ever been free for a short time in the last 10,000 years. That's how powerful it is, and you are losing your country. And you're losing your country because you do not see what's been done to you. What's been done to you can be, if it originates in politicians. Politics is another form of warfare. Politics is another form of warfare. Politics is another form of warfare. It creates war. It creates death and dying. Once it starts, you want to be backed up with the enemy that you shouldn't have an enemy. You'd have to have people who are submissive, but not only submissive to the powers that be, but also, to some degree, angrily submissive, so they kill each other from both sides. Except in the First World War, Second World War, the British people, just to keep the subject clear, the British people are not appeasers in a sense. They had an appeaser, Attlee and Churchill, and he was picking up the sentiment of the British people, because it wasn't too far away, in 1930, 31, where Churchill should have been. Attlee was. And he came back with a piece of paper saying, "Peace at our time," because he was telling Hitler, "Look, we don't want to hurt you. We'll sink our battleships. We'll give you our guns." Insane. And that created World War II. And 150 million people died. But these people weren't weak. They just lost 2 million men. It's only 60 million people there. It's horrible. But the Second World War was worse, because same old thing. From the First World War, they lost their loved ones. They never got over it. So they naturally wanted to have peace. And then you see that Hitler taking advantage of the weakness. But he hesitated because the British people at that time were magnificent people. There was hardly any crime. There was crime. It was rare. And same in America. When I came here, there was crime, but not like this. This has been done to you, not just from Obama, but other left-wing scumbags. But the tendency of weak people is to raise up the kind of person that screwed them. You're always owned by what you screwed, whether you like it or not. And you turn around and screw somebody else, doing unto others what was done unto you. And therefore, it's automatic. And then you reward the person who is the biggest bully. And you pay him. And he becomes a killer. Media, school teachers. All you have to do is screw the kids in school. And how many times have I said, take your kids out of school? Now people are shouting that. It's too late. You have a whole army of ready young people to take over. You've got a whole army of people on welfare. You've got millions and millions and millions who are entitled. Entitled? Entitled to what? Pay no taxes? $4,000 a month if you have half a dozen kids without a father, and they all do the same thing for you because they're helpless, and they're corrupted and violated and have no education, and they don't understand how to fish because they don't have a fishing rod. If the administration would love the people, they give them, would teach them how to fish, and then here it is. You can pay me back. Here's your fishing rod. Pay me back with fish. That is not the same, is it? So you've got control. There's people who want control. The average person wants control over somebody else. I was watching the Dangerous Women. You ever see that? Oh, it's a program on TV. And you can just see how women are like. You see, how they murder their own. There's something about Eve that she needs to be corrected. But the average person doesn't know, average man does not know how to deal with a woman. He thinks he's being loved when he's being screwed. And when he's screwing, he doesn't know he's still being screwed. Am I making the point?
Yeah, pretty strong.
Okay. I'm going to sit down before I faint. Listen, please. We can get to our personal problems in a minute.
Okay.
Nice and close.
Thank you. On the point that you were making about welfare, all the people on welfare, I grew up single family. My mother, just single family. My mom.
Can you speak a little louder?
Oh, yes.
Or hold
thanks.
it closer.
Hold it a little bit closer. Okay. Anyway, my mother, she lost her husband at the age of 40. And
Where did she lose her?
oh, well, he passed away. So, anyways, I was only
Yeah, it needs to say
8
he's
years
got
old.
dropped dead. I get it.
Yeah, he died of heart disease.
Yes, and he shouldn't have.
No.
because he suppressed
So young.
all that anger.
Yes.
Yes, and she killed him.
I'm seeing
I
that.
get it.
I'm seeing, thank you. And I went to one of your
Don't
seminars.
be afraid, everybody. It's you're next.
Yeah, could happen
Everybody,
to.
men are going to dying, dropping dead.
Yes.
Women are getting angry, want to kill their husbands
And
because they're not men. Their fathers weren't men. Their great-grandfathers are not men.
yes.
And Eve still works. The Eve in her still, she said,
And-
please stop. She's trying to say please, but she can't say it because she's so attractive. Please don't love me.
Yes.
Don't love the hell in me. Love it out, please. And they don't understand what it means. They're just attracted to their mothers, basically.
Yes.
Having sex with mother. That's basically what it is.
Yes.
It's just ugly.
Ugly.
What it is.
It's ugly.
And the women feel dirty. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I was just going to say that my mom, what I appreciated about my mother was that she refused to go on welfare, and she was always, there for us, worked part-time, and neighbors would say, well, you can get this free car and free this and free that, but she was conservative-minded, and that was
But there
a
aren't
blessing
many,
for
there
us
aren't
kids.
enough of those.
Yes, she did the best she could.
You breed the kind of person you want, and it's all done in skill. So nearly all the presidents who weren't conservatives, even the one that looked like he was a conservative, it was the one that took the place of Kennedy when he was killed. I forget who it is.
Johnson?
Yeah, he's a swine. He's a wicked bastard.
Yeah, he destroyed
He is just a wicked person. He just enjoyed the war and then just backed off just before we were winning it. I remember that. He just it's this sick people, the word, elect sick presidents. That's what you got, is a sick president who has sufficiently inherits a broken people. And so he's a sociopath, not a psychopath. What's that movie? Silence of the Lambs. Yes. What was the name of the?
Silence of the Lambs.
I know. What was the name of the?
Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
That's a psychopath. A sociopath is, I love you.
Clinton.
Do you have anything you want?
Loves everybody.
Yeah.
I know. Yes, I'm covering. But you see, I don't do anything wrong. I don't do anything right either. I let the house fall down. And you take it. I'll give you all the money you want as long as you vote for me. Stupid people. Now, I do hope this goes on the air, which it doesn't go too far. But I wish you could recommend what I just said, because it covers the waterfront. We're going to put who's the person on the Facebook?
Matt Drudge.
Matt Drudge. I keep forgetting it. Sorry, it's my brain. Is that all that drugs I've been taking? I'm not sure. I'm still drugged myself right now. But I don't feel drugged. I feel I'm coming back to life. And I would like to bring you back to life. I was bringing you back to life when I didn't have my life in me. There's so many drugs I had to take, because every operation created another problem. And I didn't even need the operation in the first place many years back. It's just stupid doctors who just want money. Okay, you need an operation.
You grew new arteries.
It's really crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, nearly everybody's in a hospital having pieces taken out of them. As if you can cure somebody by just taking pieces out. Well, you may have to take the rotten pieces out, but you shouldn't be getting rotten. And you get rotten because you're not knowing what you're doing. You don't know who you are, but you don't know who you are. And you're in a hypnotic state, and you live with weird behaviors. And everybody with weird behaviors at certain levels have exactly the same problem. Diabetics are the same thing. But we want to come back, if you don't mind. I want to come back to understanding the food. Where did she go? Well, she left.
Drove away.
Oh, there.
She drove away.
She did.
She seemed kind of upset.
Oh dear. Does she never?
Said I think she had to use the restroom.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Maybe I'm saying that
all right.
because I'm also.
She's losing the restroom. I'm okay with it.
I need to lose weight.
She had to rest a
I thought she was running away.
Oh, yeah.
She's never run away before.
No.
I've known her for 25, 30 years. So she's got a lot better. But you see, there's something about food. She says, yes, she's eating the right food. If she keeps her, the balance of, in her blood, for her blood. But there's still something about food that carries with it, coming back to my point of view, carries with it a curse. Because anything can be made to be a curse. If I take one of you from the audience, which I could, and mesmerize you, which you wouldn't know there was a change in your behavior, see, and touch my tie. I said, every time I touch my tie, and your tie, so you, if it's a man, you'll always wear a tie. That's what he'll do. Always wear a tie. And if you ask him why he doesn't be less dressed and more carefree, he says, I just like to do that. But he will never know, ever know, while I speak to him out loud, you will always wear a tie. And as you put the tie on, you will do such and such and such a thing. And that will last forever. It could be anything. And just the look of the tie would make him put it on. No, but you see how I'm reducing it to its simplicity. Anything. My friend over here. Okay, no names, but.
You can use my name.
Oh,
Well, she wants everybody to know who she is.
I just forgot your name though. Wendy.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
You have to suspect that I'm being gracious when I'm being forgetful.
What's your best?
I got to be honest. Maybe I get my memory back. Yeah. All right. So had some? Yes. Well, who had it first? Ladies first. Lady first.
Yeah, ladies first. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to comment about what you were saying. Aren't we, I don't know how to say it, except aren't we suggestible in the way you're talking only because we have an undercurrent of anger and hate?
Yes, that keeps it alive. But what caused you to hate is the culprit.
Sure.
But so what has upset you is the spirit of the bully parent
Right,
or teacher.
right.
And that becomes a program because as a child, you are innocent. Adam was born innocent, but he listened to his woman and got thrown out of the garden and then suffered repentance, but it didn't work because it had to go on in a certain way. Through one man's sin and death through sin, we inherit the sin. And we're born into every culture. Every culture we're born into immediately gets into us and pushes intuition aside. And so there's conflict. And conflict is necessary for you to feel guilty and all the rest of it, but you're really not guilty. It's the spirit inside you that is the guilt source. In other words, when you are hurt, say it again, through one man's sin and death through sin spread. But the children that are born inherit a parent or parents who are also inheriting parents. And it goes back hundreds of generations, right, to the words through one man's sin, and death through sin spread. Human race, culture. And every culture has a peculiar influence over them. So if you're born in Germany, then you're angry. You had a war, whatever happened before, but you're subject to the misery that the war created when you shouldn't have started in the first place. There's a lot of angry people. Money wasn't worth anything. But you'd have $500,000 for an egg. Money wasn't worth anything. And so there's a terrible anger. And so Hitler rises to take care of that anger, take control. He didn't have to do it. We did it by giving him a bad situation, bad solution. Something about Versailles.
The Treaty of Versailles.
Treaty of Versailles. We did a bad thing.
Yeah.
The reason why you had a bad time in those days is because they took the money and gave it to Germany in the hope of making them recover, and we didn't have any jobs, and we didn't have the money wasn't there, to build businesses. And we still, instead of rebuilding their country, they built tanks. And we stupid people we just begged, please, please. No, they had Hitler, and he got angry people, and he knew he's going to blame every person who is a bully, and that nation was an angry bully. They had to vent the hostility on something. Jews. They weren't part of that. They'd never been part of stuff like that. They've always been independent people. Innocence, guilt. All you have to do is control lots of guilty people and have no way of venting except that way. And they become addicted to it and rewarded for it. We've got the same thing going in this country right now. It's called Marxism, and you've got a president that slid into the place after many, many years of left-wing presidents, all creating those good things, giving away your money to people who don't deserve it, welfare, entitlement. Now you've got some dangerous people. See, take away that. They got nothing. They got nothing even now. And the only way they can make a little extra money is to get drugs and encourage them to, with the teachers union, screwing the minds of kids to make them drug addicts. See, and if they stand up for themselves, they get blamed. To fight the bully gets away, and the kid gets remanded because he took care of himself. They did everything to make it happen, and you need to see this, and you need to take down that media, and you need to understand that you are a victim if you are represented by if I represent what I say about welfare. You're a stupid bunch of people, but you remain stupefied. I'm only trying to wake you up, but you like your sleep because there's no guilt. You've been loved. You've been loved as a rotten person. You've been loved as a dangerous, nothing human being. And you feel swelled up because the president loves you. And he's a scumbag. And just the last of a whole bunch of those leading up to him. So he comes forward not as a bad guy, but someone who loves you for being nothing, to spoil you like your mommy spoils you, so that you don't have a life of your own and you don't dare to speak up, because then they take your money away. And then what would you do? There's no way back. You have no education. Okay. Emma, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing about, sorry. I just about about being suggestible, and I'm just, you know.
Well, you see how it is.
But.
You love too much and you hate too much.
Right, and being suggestible, and I'm seeing more deeply in myself about,
What are you suggestible? What is? Can you just recognize
so
what
even, okay,
what ticks you off every time? Something. With that?
yes.
What is it?
Oh, the homeless people in my neighborhood that live 3 blocks away, that upsets me. And I notice
Why
that,
should it upset you?
I don't know, I notice I get very angry towards it. And
Bad.
you asked me, so I'm
No,
telling you.
you want a better life?
Yes,
Don't get upset.
yeah,
And but the point is, there's something about not being upset,
yeah,
which is, it's not just the absence of
It's that-
impatience, because you can make it disappear.
it's about not living on that energy.
Yes, but I'll just come to that. I was just trying to find the words for it. So, the whole idea of not being upset is just a cover. And so therefore you sit there and not speak up or not have any influence over those people, because they only have influence over you and they don't even know they're doing it.
Right.
It's not specific to you necessarily.
Right.
It's just just a whole bunch of nothing. And they don't know how stupid they are and loud they are and musical they are and all the junk they do. It just pisses you off, doesn't it?
Yes,
In a manner, in
Yes.
a modern way of saying.
yes.
Now,
I know.
if that didn't bother you, you'd have a different shine on your countenance.
I mean, you asked me, and I recognize my
me.
upset.
Have you ever seen me be mean?
No,
Isn't there a shine on my countenance?
yes,
Do I make little jokes unnecessarily?
yes.
Or I am a joke just by being who I am? And nobody knows what to do with me? Nobody knows what I see? And nobody knows why I affect them? Because, you see, you could walk into, once you give up that stupid judgment,
Yes,
then you have power over them. The whole bloody lot. Excuse the expression.
I hear you.
You want power? Then get angry. Because it makes you feel powerful, but you're not. It makes you look down your nose at them in private, but you're just playing God. Judgment is mine, saith the Lord. You're judging.
You're right. I recognize that I am.
Well, that applies. And therefore, you're subject to those people always. And every time you see them out of order, which you see it all the time, it keeps you irritated.
Yep.
And you're going to die. Having never lived. You have no life. You have to appease them. You have to show that you like them. Or you get angry and they get angry back. You're not going to win. There's no winning this world. There's no winning. You have to overcome evil with good. Where's the good? You haven't got any good. It went away because you're angry and resentful. There's no good in you at all. Sitting there, nothing. There's only the good, and you just want to know what good is. And you can't know what good is until you know what bad is. Oh, I see that. Oh, I see that. But you have to see it, and it melts. It's not hard. There's a way I can help you see it, do it a little better than you do it on your own. It's called 7-minute meditation. It covers the waterfront. It's every race and color and creed can't complain because there's no apparent religion in it, but there is. You can't see it.
In my life, I worked for years and years. Then I was involved with the parents. Now it's all done, and now it's me. Now it's me. So now I'm seeing more clearly the anger toward, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's
but
like you asked,
I get it.
you get it. So now it's nobody, now it's coming, now it's coming to the source. So when you were talking about being suggestible, I see that because there's still that undercurrent of hate that's always run
You're
through
open.
me, I'm open, exactly. And so I'm seeing it, and it's painful, but I do see it.
But you see, you got to see it.
I
It's
mean,
got to be every second adjustment.
you're right. I mean,
Every
I
second.
believe that.
Every second.
It's every moment.
Every second. Every fraction of a second. It's either that or nothing. You're either willing to see your thoughts as they present themselves, see, and look at them with your eyes closed or with your eyes open. It has nothing. If it's better with your eyes closed, you can begin with that. Then you can see the pixels, and all of a sudden a picture appears, right? And then if you look at the picture, it turns into a pixel. Goodbye.
Right.
It doesn't control you. You won that round. But you got to win that round every day, because the first time you do that, you find you can deal with the person better. But if you don't deal with the person better with what you have, you're right back where you started from. It has to be a continuum. It has to be a continuum. Good is not you. You're the, I can't find the word for the minute. You're the
Conduit?
agent. You're the agent of changing the world. It comes through you, and it comes through you equivalently or simultaneously or likewise. I have to use several words to make the point. Because when you are in your broken state, you are mesmerized. And so you are disconnected in that mesmeric state. Emotional. Being emotional is to be, that's why I keep saying to people, is it good to have emotion? It makes you human? Everyone will tell you. Everyone, because everybody's hypnotized. And this is the hypnotic state. That you've been told by people, rich and poor, with stations or without stations of greatness, right? That emotions make you human. No, it doesn't. You never heard that, but you see, the multitude believes it, and when you start to see it yourself, the multitude doesn't like you because you're seeing what they don't want to see about them, but you're safe. Because you can see, it frightens them. Just because you can see, because you've looked at yourself and say, I'm angry. Is that my solution to my insecurity? No, it's the cause of your insecurity. And if you try to, I had a person who came to see me 10 years after a seminar, and he says, I have something to tell you. I've been resenting you in 10 years, and I had to come back. So I want you to forgive me. I said, no, I didn't judge you. He said, you're a minister. I said, yes, I didn't judge you. You got a problem. I don't. I didn't judge you. You came here to get approval from me. I didn't look at you. Is that correct? Yes, you didn't look. Well, you didn't speak. You stood in the back and hoping I'd see you. And you'd love me. Oh, hello, Joe. No, that's not my thing. I'm not I'm not an appeaser. I'm not saying love. Oh, have all the people coming in. Hello, Joe. Hello, Mary. No, that's not it. It's already destroyed everything. I'm appeasing you, and I'd have millions of people coming because that's what they want. They want to be loved. They want to be elevated. They want to see somebody who loves them. That's Obama. He loves them the way they are. You stupid. Hold on. Oh, help me. I was going to say bastards, but I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
It didn't sound right.
When I look at homeless people, I see a little bit of myself in there because I grew up being convinced that I couldn't do anything right. So I thought I'd be a failure. And one thing I found was I'd hang around the park. This is back in the late 70s. And I just had a job where a boss was really abusive. And I felt that I couldn't handle the work environment anymore. So I completely broke down.
Isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
You were programmed so you couldn't have confidence in yourself.
No, I thought
And
my
you
skill level,
compensated by trying harder and harder. And
Yeah,
harder
and it didn't work.
But the point is, you're wearing yourself out.
yeah. But what happened was, for about a year and a half, I hung out at the park, drank wine with my friends, or beer, and looked at other people going about to their job and wishing I could be there. But it was like, I just realized that I was pretty close to being homeless myself. I look at that as being dysfunctional. A lot of people fall through the cracks, and they're convinced that they can't do anything themselves. And so they fall into that realm, and you're with these people that you don't particularly want to be around and doing things you don't particularly want to do, but you don't know any way else. There's no way out.
It's just miserable, isn't it?
What's that?
It's miserable.
It is. You're in
But I've got you miserable people.
I know. And what was in the back of my mind all
I
this
don't get
time,
miserable.
I was going to run out of time.
Yeah. the
See,
thing
time
is-
was going past me, and I should have been doing something with my life. And then I started listening to you,
Yeah.
getting back on my feet again.
It's a
But,
wonder you're still alive.
well, one of the things, you talked about
Because
triggers.
you've got diabetes.
Yeah, I do.
one.
Yeah, I do. I'm basically
You
type
shouldn't
1.
be alive today.
I know.
How
I'm
old are
going to be 3 months away from 60 years old.
you? But that is rare.
Yeah, it is. I'm
Correct.
supposed to be not alive. My first doctor diagnosed me, said, all my diabetic patients are dead. Type 2 and type 1. And this guy, he's in his 90s.
Well, you got the worst of it,
Yeah, I know.
but you're still making the best of it.
I am. I have a bad habit, though.
Let's discuss this.
Okay.
Is there any irritation left in you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel it sometimes.
Can you please, in exchange for living to 100,
Yeah.
but not just to live to 100 just for the sake of living 100, it's for paradise lost,
Yeah.
for your eternal life.
I agree.
It's not about how long you live. If you live for 20 years and you have virtue, you don't have to worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to die virtuous,
Yes, I agree with that.
and that's sufficient.
Yeah, there's that impatient spirit. My grandmother was very impatient with me.
Yeah,
and
but
so
let's
it got
not
in
go
me.
into that,
Okay.
because it could be anybody.
Yeah.
And usually travels through the generations.
Oh, it does.
Through one man's sin and death
It-
through
it-
sin
it-
spread.
Yeah.
So if you're Borneo, you never have a chance. The only way you could end up is to speak up
And get
or
this-
have a little bright light in your eye,
And get in the soup pot.
and you go into the soup pot.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Hitler, Germany was the same way.
Yeah.
Russia was the same way. But America has a constitution. Russia has a constitution very similar to America.
Mm-hmm.
But you see what happened with Hitler, for example. In the what does it call that time when people vote? When voting time came,
Yeah. Election.
he caused them to be loyal to him and not the Constitution.
Yeah. And a lot of people didn't vote.
And it's the same thing with Putin and the others before him. They put themselves, the Constitution there in Russia is very similar to ours.
Yeah, but
it's not.
they ignore it.
You have built. They have actually voted. It's so long they may not even know it. They voted for the person, and not the Constitution that he's supposed to represent. That's how clever it is,
Yeah.
and it can be this way this time, and you wouldn't have a constitution because he's already outside the Constitution, and you're not doing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no cry
Nobody's.
because he loves you. He loves you because look at how much money he gives people. iPhones and whatever it is.
Yeah, he buys
$4,000
votes.
a month if you have 3 or 4 kids and no father. That's all right with me.
Mm-hmm.
Bad education in the inner cities, all controlled by who?
One man,
What party?
Democrat.
Democrats.
Yeah.
Democrats from the South.
Yeah.
They're addicted. Black Americans are addicted to the word Democrat.
They're not.
They
They're not.
program as slaves. They stay as a slave.
They're the party of the South that enslaved the blacks originally. They're the slave
right.
owners.
See how subtle that
Yeah.
is? You can transfer it from one generation.
Well, I just want to bring one of the reasons why I first wanted to talk was, you talked about triggers. Opening up patterns. When I was yelled at as a kid or traumatized, I remember 2 times when I was given something to drink.
So
One, traumatized when I was screamed at when I was young, very small.
well, that's just typical.
Yeah, and given something to drink to pacify myself. And I remember, this is kind of the thing, I work pretty hard physically, and I get run down, and I resent the fact that I have to work so hard. And then at the end of the week, I want to get a bottle of wine, which I do buy, and I drink that bottle of wine. And then the next week, I just, the same thing. And so it's a habit of mine, but it's
But look,
also
let's
brings
stop
back an
this.
old trauma.
I get that.
Okay,
But you keep bringing up the fact when you were a little guy,
Boy,
this and
yeah.
that, what you just said.
yeah,
You need to get over that.
I agree.
Why not? Why do you hold on to it?
I think I miss
It's
my
not a big
dad.
deal.
I think it's mainly just missing my father, that he wasn't there, my dad.
But you see, if
Yeah, I still haven't gotten the
But
goat.
here I'll give you a little philosophy.
Okay,
If you hate the father you can see, you
Yeah.
hate the father you cannot see.
I don't
You're
hate
dead.
him. I don't hate him.
Yeah, but you got to complete that journey.
Yeah, I know.
You just really got to give him up because he
Yeah.
doesn't not know what he's doing any more than
No,
you
no, I
keep
know.
doing the same freaking thing.
I know. It's like I
Well,
have.
you're still doing it.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
It's it's an old conditioning. I don't know.
No, it's easy.
What?
It's not difficult to look at it and say, I see that.
Yeah.
But somehow in you, it's like life.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you have a good life or a rotting life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by rotting?
You're getting
Degenerated
worse.
life.
You're getting worse.
You actually become a dark black mass
Yes.
inside you that cannot go to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Not a beautiful being within a being.
Yeah.
Between when your mortal coils fall away,
Yeah.
you find yourself in a different place. You won't know you're dead.
It's
Your
seen-
mortal coils are meant to give you a choice within it. You've inherited sin. You've inherited. It's not your sin.
yeah.
It's your parents' sin. But your parents,
Inherited it.
that's right.
It goes all the way back from the very
It's
beginning.
inherent.
Yeah.
And men go back to women to look for love.
Yeah.
That's inherent.
Yep.
There's no man there. There's only someone screwing his mother.
Yeah.
Excuse the expression.
Yeah.
That's what you are, gentlemen. That's what you are. No wonder you got a problem. You're giving power to the woman. And even if you are angry and beating her to death, say, she will become so submissive. She gets so submissive that she'll give everything, every last particle of anything in her to him, and he will not be happy because there's nothing left in her, and he will beat the rest of it out of her. And that was the story of the lady who was in the shower with this man. She'd given him everything she had. She had no sense of direction, no sense of help, nothing. She couldn't cry out. All she could do, as far as she could do, is what anger does to a person, is to cut his throat and blow his brains out. But that's all hypnotic. Because she cannot use logic. The logic isn't there.
That was the
It is
only
a
way she knew.
desperation.
Yeah. That was the only way she knew.
No, but it's the same with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody to varying degrees. There's 25,000 people every year who kill each other in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
25,000. Just that, one thing. So well, I was trying to get you to understand, but maybe you're still stuck.
I am. I'm very
on
aware of that.
silly stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But there's one more thing. I think my friend just went home. I never see her do that before. And that's very interesting. She what?
She had said she was leaving before. She said she was going to leave when Wendy came. So I
Okay.
think she had a
Well,
plan to go
that
somewhere.
explains it. Okay, thank you. I wish you had told me before. I wouldn't have been concerned about that. I know her a long time. I would have run out there and try to get her. I didn't mean to offend her.
Yeah, no.
But there's something about food which applies to you. You're diabetic.
I don't have the food problem. It's to
Actually,
me.
Actually, you do.
I don't feel.
Even if you eat right,
Yeah,
there's something missing.
yeah. I don't get the pleasure out of eating.
What did Jesus say? I believe in Jesus, right? I'm Jewish. I didn't have to change my religion to be Christian.
Yeah.
He says, when you drink this, you're drinking my blood, right?
Remember me.
Remember me.
Yeah.
That is very significant. He's saying there's something wrong with the food. He can eat it, but because he is pure. But the disciples are still the extension of what happened to
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
He ate the fruit, and he was thrown out of the garden, and he had to eat the other food, whatever that there. And it's the other food outside the garden. Not necessarily the garden could be the same, but it's a place. It is a divine place. And now he's outside there. And he was afraid, in one of the stories, he was afraid to eat it because
The curse.
it was cursed.
Yeah.
He saw a fig tree, and there it is right there. He was afraid because it took about 40 days and 40 nights for him to adapt to being mortal. And then, but the food that you eat is keeping you normal unless you understand what he says. When you eat this, when you break the bread and drink the wine, think of me. Now, there's something more to that, but what it's trying to say, he's making it kosher again. You love God now, the food's okay. You don't love God now. You have no.
You want more than you should.
I've noticed I don't want to eat hardly much. I do very well on a little bit of food.
Yeah.
So I was trying to tell
Cheryl?
Patty. I've known her for 20 years. I still forget her name. And she forgives me for it. I've been through a lot of problems, so it affected my head. I was fully aware of it, but couldn't do anything about it. I'm getting better now because the medicine had effect on that. But I still could drive cars and give talks, but not as good. I think today is better. I think I'm more like me. I see myself on TV. It's not very good. That's not me. That's me on drugs, in a manner of speaking. But it had to be. I had to go through all that stuff to understand that you can't cure people with medicine. You can keep them alive a little bit longer and a little bit wronger. See, and so the cure is part of the sickness. Bang. So now, if you look now back to 30, 40, 50 years, nearly everybody's on drugs. If it isn't one drug legal, it's illegal drugs. and we still eat and we eat too much. And the food we eat is not blessed. It still carries a curse, just like a post-traumatic stress suggestion. It's the food. So if you want to eat the right way, you go to the fancy stores, what do they call them?
Supermarket? Or the
What do they call the stores that sell
health food store?
food stores that have special foods? What they have is
Natural food?
yes, they have. There's a name for it.
Okay.
And so you go to those places. They have a name for that
Yeah.
type of thing, but I haven't got the name, and nor do you. So we're all screwed.
Organic.
But the point is, all they do is sell organic. That's right,
Yeah.
organic.
I said it 3
And so you think if you eat the organic food, it's pure. No, it's not.
No.
Nothing you can eat is pure.
Yeah.
You have to be pure to eat it
That's right.
and to have its effect on you. Otherwise, as you eat, even if you eat properly, even if you can keep your diabetes or
Yeah.
blood sugar perfect, that does not mean to say you're a better person. You can live a little longer and continue to be continuously wronger. See? And things don't get bad because you've got to recognize that food as a hypnotic curse that goes from generation to generation. Just like when you come into the world, you are in your parents' shoes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
your parents in their parents' shoes.
Yeah.
And your great parents.
Grandparents.
It goes
Yeah.
right back. It's the
It's
one man's sin and death through sin spread. And what was the sin? Food.
food. Yeah. It's
Just for the sake of food.
I inherited the physical problems of my grandfather and the bad habits of my dad.
You die from eating you will die thinking that the illusion is if you eat good foods
Yeah.
and you're strong and you're 90 years old and you give it to yourself. I couldn't find the right word.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I've been eating good for now I am 90 years old.
Then I'm
look
okay.
How strong I am.
Yeah.
No, you're just as dead.
Yeah.
You don't know you're dead.
Yeah.
You don't know you're dead anyway. You don't know your hypnotic state keeps you from thinking that your thoughts are yours. Those thoughts are never yours. If you live in America, you have many variations of what culture is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Borneo or Hitler Germany, you've only got one choice, and you got to take it or they kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But here, it's beginning that way. The liberals are beginning to push what right and wrong is, and wrong is right. And we are right because we don't think we're wrong. You're wrong for looking at us this way,
Yeah.
and not us at having our freedom to speak who we are. Those are the ones that have power. And you people have to get it, because if you don't get it, you'll be overcome. If you do not get what I say as a country, you're finished. Your country's over. You will not know how to overcome the overcomer. You have to be like me. You have to be like me, not because I'm smart, because I found something. I'm trying to share it with you. I don't want you to die. I want this country to live. But Christians and Jews, they all have religions. All the religions do not give you what I'm talking to. They talk about it. Think of me when you eat the food and you drink the drink the wine. But you just say it to yourself. You don't realize that you're just a machine. You don't realize that's real. And there's a reason why. Oh my God, it's a program. But you can talk about it all you want and practice it only because it's required of you. And it looks pretty good. You have to say amen, there's all kinds of prayers before you eat. It's all bullcucky. You don't have to do all that. It's just decoration. It looks pious. That's all. I don't have any religious anything. I don't want them. Jesus is enough. I want to be what he is. I love him. I say, I see this man. Do you see this man? Then why aren't you grasping it? What's holding you back, Anne? What holds you back? 64 years. You can sit in the front row and still not see it. See? Now, I could mesmerize I could take her and she would know she was coming or going.
Shame on you.
I know, but I don't want her. I love her. I will love her. I will wait until she dies. I'll wait and wait. That's all. That's my troth. I promised. Yes, till death do us part. You don't have to be perfect. You could be as crazy in a saloon, and I'll be there for you.
I know.
Simple. But the simple is, you say, I give my life up for that. Yes, I'm not giving my life up at all. I'm doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. I can still carry on doing my work, take care of her. Correct? Stop. It's not a big deal. You want something to eat? You can't do it. You can't do the work anymore. Okay, I'll give somebody to work for you. But you got to do a little bit. Less is more. The less you do, the less you can do. That's what happens, and then you have to struggle, like you do. You're listening to your negative side. Yeah, the dark correct? Side. The dark side, yeah. You're listening to the dark side. Yeah. Basically, in other words, you have that doubt. Well, it's got to become faith. Yeah. Because doubt has the same power as faith does in the negative. Yeah, reverse. So the more you listen to your dark side, your thoughts, which you think are yours, they're not. You don't have a word that's yours. But it looks like you speaking. It almost feels like a feeling more than a thought. It's like a feeling that comes in. It's the feeling that makes you... And that leads to the thoughts. Gives you thought. Yeah, and the thought. That's the first thing that is the feeling, and it's like I remember a movie with Lon Chaney Jr. and it was the Wolfman, and I remember I didn't like the character or anything like that, but he goes into the sheriff's office and he says, "Lock me up. You don't know what's going to happen." And the sheriff's just laughing at him, and he's saying, "No, you don't realize what's going to happen if you don't lock me up." And then he gets put in the jail. I get it. Yeah. I get it. And there was actually a man. Yeah. I think it was Utah. Yeah. And he killed people. Gary Gilmore. You remember it? I read it in the interview back in the 70s. That's right. Yeah. And so he says to his lawyers, "Please, I want to die. I want to be, shoot me, please." That's what he says. Yep. If you don't shoot me, I will kill again. Yes. That is a person who's honest, and he doesn't know how to stop. Please kill me. Yes. That's virtue. It is. It's as much virtue as you can get to say, I don't want to do it. Please kill me. He had to go to the end. And that was the thing. It finally woke him up where he was on death row. So, but I'm trying to say to you how strong doubt is. And the more you live by doubt, because doubt will give you the things to say and the things to and it will sound like you're obedient person. You make sense. You know what? It sounds like this. You get the first thing you get in the beginning is you see what to do. Immediately something you said maybe not. I've been there. And that's the stronger one. Yeah. And pretty soon, it's all you know. And it won't let you see. Yeah. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. So, watch what I said about food. Yeah. Well, the doubt preempts the good. No. Yeah. Okay. Let's not play with games. Okay. The food from generation to generation carries with it a post-traumatic stress signal. Her signal was this, all these years. All these years, her program, one of them, but the very important one, if I may say it. Okay, so I've known her, God, 14 years, and she was a big mess, and she's good. She's a delightful lady, does good things for me, and that's good, and she's together. But one thing that caused her all this suffering, with the post-traumatic stress in it, that wasn't meant. Mother never said, "I'm going to give you a post-traumatic stress because you're in a hypnotic state." The fact that you hate your mother. So mother was really, really cruel. Really cruel. That's and reaction in her youth is hypnotic. She transfers her feelings and what she is into somebody who doesn't want it but is in conflict. She wasn't in conflict. She wanted you to be in conflict. That's why you do unto others what was done to you. You think you're going to relieve it. And all you do is make somebody more screwed than you are, and you feel better by relativity, right?
Temporarily.
So now, one day, after getting better from God knows how many different things, we had a nice conversation about something, and I think it was something about a breath that she had to go to and put some exotic machinery all over you.
Yeah, CPAP machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she got a little bit of fear, and when she got the fear, she said, "Why am I afraid?" All of a sudden, she remembers something, what I said when she went out the door. I'm not sure if I got the order right, but this is it. As a matter of fact, as she went out the door, I said, "Take care." And she stopped. Lots of people have said that. And it reinforced what happened to her when she was younger. Her mother, after beating her up and degrading her and making her furious, she says, "Take care." Now, that is a post-traumatic stress suggestion, which lasts you for your whole life.
It may
Now,
know.
but because I'm me, and because I have something in me that most people have, which is what Mother has, take care is the suggestion. But when she heard me saying, "Take care," she saw it. That's it. Because when Mother said, "Take care," she says, "Oh, I'm not going to take care of myself. I do everything wrong," basically. And it kept going on that. Every time someone said, "Take care." Now you may say, "What's the trigger? How does all this work?" Screw it. It works. You're never going to understand it. I understand it. I really do. And that's why I can help you. I understand it just by being me.
Yeah.
So if I say something about food, it's not like anybody else says it. I actually say something brand new. And you have to see that. If you are virtuous, you can only be virtuous. You can only disinherit what is in the blood. And to say it more clearly, God says, "Do not think I've come to bring peace, but the sword." Fathers to daughters, and all the rest of it, hating each other, because virtue does not run in the blood. It has to. If it does, then you have no choice. It doesn't.
We're not robots.
They're not robots.
Yeah.
So when I set my kids free, it's up to them to be who they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my best.
Yeah.
That does not mean to say I can transmit it. I do transmit for my wife, but I'm not responsible for her. She sees it, she doesn't.
Yeah, the difference between you and me is if I ever had kids, I don't think I'd be a very good example.
Yes,
I wouldn't
but-
have set the example.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
You see, as you say that, you're already in despair.
Yeah, I'm in despair. I'm a neg. I was
don't you
so.
hear it?
Yeah, yeah,
Because every time he comes here, he does the same thing.
yeah.
He said he doesn't do it. Why do you continue with that?
I don't.
Because doubt makes you try hard
Yeah,
and harder and harder until there's nothing left of you.
pretty much.
When you die, it's amazing that you got enough to keep you to get 60. You don't even look 60.
No.
You look 30.
Well,
You look
not that-
younger,
Yeah, yeah.
like I do. I didn't say that.
Well, I don't look 30. I look 50-something.
The devil made me say that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I got all my hair.
That's why you get you
Yeah.
wear the hat.
What's that?
That's why you wear the hat.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody will know your age.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just regardless. I am kind of like maybe on the outside what I should be on the inside, but in the inside, it's
What
still.
does it cost to look at the food
I
and consider what I'm saying?
I will. Yeah. It's just
I could, I maybe bring some bread and
Mm-hmm.
wine. 'Cause they drank wine because it's
the water was bad.
water was bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was smart.
Yeah.
It was simple. But I could bring some bread here and show you, because of your programming
Mm-hmm.
with respect to what I've been saying all along.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually put a program in that bread that will make you do,
That'd be.
or I can help redeem you in giving you a warning,
Mm-hmm.
which I haven't done because I only recently understood the blood thing.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, I remember
yeah,
going back.
the poison, the
Yeah.
food is poisoning you, even
Okay.
even if it keeps your
Body alive?
your nature,
Yeah.
your mortal nature, even though it does good for your mortal nature, get it, but it doesn't. Something is missing to your
Spiritual.
spiritual nature.
Yeah.
See, and you could be very satisfied with the fact that you overcome
I-
diabetes, but you haven't overcome death.
No, I
See
realize.
that? You haven't overcome death.
No, I haven't. And I realize that it's just the beginning. It's not the end.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Anybody else has anything to say? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Back to suggestions and what I'm learning or seeing about myself. Well, a couple things. So the other day I saw, it doesn't matter if you tell me something and I take your suggestion and do it in life, if I didn't see it for myself. It's still a suggestion. And so my whole life has been that.
Well, I can give you a suggestion.
But
You can, but if you are if you have intuitive,
Right, but-
you can recognize the value of it, and if it's value, it's not bad.
I can recognize, I see. But we're suggestible because we were hurt.
Suggestible means you
Open.
can't resist.
You can't, okay. So the last time I was here, you just said one thing to me, and you said it before to people, but it really was very interesting. You said, "There is no you." You said that to me in our
Well,
conversation.
you're not who you think you are.
So when
It's more clear.
do you know, when do you know if you're,
Are you happy with yourself now?
Wendy asks me that a lot. Am I happy with myself now?
No,
No.
you're still judging.
Yes.
That's what you started with. We're not happy.
Well, you asked me to, and I was forthcoming with what I knew.
Yes, forthcoming is okay, but you still haven't thrown it out. You haven't.
So when you say drop it,
Well,
drop-
you can't drop it.
you can just see that you're doing it.
No,
And
all you need to do is be willing to see that what you're thinking and saying, as if it was you. There's never been you. There's only been what is making you angry and
I
causing
see.
you to
I mean,
judge.
I see what I see. So I
And
I
as
saw
long as you're
some.
in that state, you
Yeah.
can't see the dark side of you. You can't see your entity that lives in you. It lives in you, you cannot see it, and it speaks through you as if it was you. And so you don't like to believe that that's who you are. You want to believe that this is me. And you don't want to believe that anybody can make you anything else. But you are everything else, whether you like it or not. You're like everybody on this world, nearly everybody to varying degrees, some to murder, and some to anxiety and killing themselves because it's post-traumatic stress disorder. Civilians have it just as much, if not more, as veterans do. It is a spirit. It's a vapor. It's a living vapor of some kind. Huh?
It's a bad memory that won't go away.
Yeah, it's not just a memory. It's like Dracula. He's able to. You can't keep him out because he disappears and he goes under the door and comes out. So it is that kind of thing. It goes from generation to generation. One door, which is the victim, into that door, into the room where it grows. And you're just angry, and the anger becomes more hateful towards your parents, and then you look for approval in all the wrong places, and there you go, getting support for your wrong, etc., etc. And then pretty soon you get screwed by these people who seem to love you. And then you've got another reason to be angry at good people, but seeing them all of a sudden as bad people. It doesn't make any difference. The good is no good, and seeing the no good is not good either. See? Nothing's good. Only good is God. Even Jesus said, don't call me good. There's only God is good. Simple. And Christians miss it. They think he's God. But he isn't. He's God's son. He's like one of us, but the sperm, whatever that is. I mean, you have to understand how sperm and ovum, eggs, they don't have any consciousness. You've got billions of them. They have no consciousness. How's that? How do you make a whole new human being from something microscopic? I mean, isn't that a miracle? And then when you look at the caterpillar and the frog, I mean, you can't stop it. It's so powerful. It's so enduring and evolving. But you devolve. You're not evolving. You're devolving because you're not meant to respond to the world like an animal, because you have conflict with your human. That's all. And the conflict is saying, help me, I don't know what to do. And there is, and you look everywhere, and everybody's doing the same thing. They think they have it, they don't. And then they know they don't have it, but they can't find it. And they get frustrated. And pretty soon, some of us settle down. And we find that in our hearts, it's always been there. And you hear a man like me, not that hard. Why you just shouldn't just listen to it and not even need to meditate. That simple. I think we'll stop now. I think we're saying we're doing good today. Yeah. Any, just one more, just one more, just one.
I was wondering, when you mentioned about a civil war, were you thinking the liberal side will start rebelling, or will the conservatives react?
What is dangerous is you. because you don't know how to deal with them. Listen, how old are you?
67.
I'm 88. We want to fight, you wouldn't have a chance. And it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that I'm bragging. You could be 10 feet tall and something would happen to you. I've taken on gangs and didn't know what it was. I just did it. It just seemed the right thing to do, and it was. And people will say, how did you do that? I said, how else would you do it? I have no understanding of the two other sides, left and right. Right and wrong. What you think is right, it's a sort of superficial what you think is right. You've got to be so pure right. The American people who are, I can't say who it is, but you know who I like, right? Okay, so whoever that is, he's got it, or she's got it. No, I got it. You have to pick one. No, it's the IRS. A little slip of the tongue, that's all they want. Right. So, what is wrong is not, the problem isn't so much as the left crazy, stark raving mad, with stark raving people with lots of money, who likes everything the way it is. See, power. More important, me have more money than thee. And then you put these strange ideas in people's mind. But they're the ones that embolden what looks like love and right, which is really wrong. And that's what you've got. Obama's all the way down. All have the same cunning to control you and take away your liberties. And give violence and crime and horror to stalk the earth forever. There's a war between good and evil. And so it's not the enemy, it's you. All of you sitting here, sitting on your asses and nodding your head. But you need to have some cojones. What are those? Could be from a cow.
But it's within if we could see it within our own families and our own.
Yes,
It starts in the
families
family.
could be your enemy.
Right.
Blood doesn't run.
I mean, I'm thinking of my liberal cousins as you're speaking. That's why I was nodding my head.
Yes.
You know, they are Obama lovers.
You need, but
Let
the
'em.
point is, you have to be around
Yeah.
them. But
I
not,
have had
You
to.
don't want to. You don't want to preach.
No.
Do not preach.
Oh,
Just be. You got something to say. You're sitting with your family, and they say something. They say, "Excuse me, if you don't mind. I think you're quite wrong with that." What do you mean? I said, "Not only are you wrong, you're really stupid."
Yes.
What do you mean by stupid? I know stupid when I see it.
Yeah.
You need, but it's true.
Yeah.
They are stupid. They're stupefied. And then you say, "Excuse me, but you do this with all sweetness," which is sweet. I'm the only person that can tell you this, and you have to see it. It's painful, I know, and I know that you may not like me. Attitude. But it's good. You'll be surprised. Or you don't have to say anything, just that you were just standing there is enough. Jesus standing there will be enough. I remember, was it one of the soldiers? He says, "My servant is dying. Can you save him?" He said, "When you get home, he'd be better." He did it from a distance. But he put it into that person, the belief into that person, and he believed it.
You really believe.
Yeah, but then his belief cured the man.
He said, "You don't have to go to my house. All I need is your word,
Yeah.
and my servant will be
Right.
better." Yeah.
Now, that could be you.
Yeah.
That could be me with you.
Yeah.
And that could be you with others. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
We done. Thank you very much for coming. It was a delight to have you. Bring some people with you next time so I can help them. But you have to have a quality that says, where do you get that from? Come with me. Got it?